Hello, this is John, Bench Fisherman. Hey, I'm doing a reel I wish was mine, but it's not. This belongs to a friend of mine. I don't normally do reels for other people, but good friend, and he uses this reel quite a bit for Spanish mackerel on the coast. And he says when he casts it, it's squeaking really bad. So we're gonna get it fixed up. I'm not gonna pull his line off here because I think he said he's gonna keep the line. This is an old 2500 Ambassador made in Sweden. It's a 2500 CI, code 04, sorry, 040004. Man, this is a special deal. I like it. Really has a gem right here. Let's take it apart and see what we've got. This will be the first time I've done one of these. I've been looking for one to buy and just can't find it. Of course, I'm left-handed. Well, I'm right-handed, but I use left-handed. So I would, if I had it, I probably wouldn't use it. It would definitely be a shelf rider. Bearings right there. Take the spool out. Take this line. Don't lose those little weights. They will fall off and fall on the floor, and you'll never find them. Fingers aren't cooperating again this morning. Wrap his line up so we don't get line all over the place. I don't think I got too much cleaning. All right, most of that can be done with a sponge bath. Okay. Well, super nice. Let's take the handle apart. Go in from this side. Fingers. Fingers just don't want to work. Sometimes I feel like got all thumbs and no fingers. Take that clip or E clip off. Careful, these things will go flying. Just a little grunge on it, but not nothing bad, just normal use. All right, going to this side of it. Two really short little screws to hold this However, on the other the bigger ambassadors, the screws are out here. The backside on this pinion was setting in there like. Now here's the whole problem with the reel. It just needs to have some fresh lubricant. Instant anti-reverse reel. Two concave convex washers. There's your instant anti-reverse sprag. We're going to leave that alone. Collar. Collar goes with the key down. A washer or shim. Drag. Fiber washer underneath the gear. Press plate. Fiber washer. That's it. That's the whole thing. Over here is your pinion. Shim. Not going to take this out. I'm going to remove the bearing. Keeper on the bearing. I don't know if you noticed that. Bearing just pushes out. And we'll clean those bearings up good, and that's that. Soak that bearing down. Now, on to the other side. 2 screws. Always match your screw driver to your screw size. I use snap-on screwdrivers, but Harbor Freight's fine. Just get the precision set. If there's his squeak. Said he had squeak when he cast. Pretty sure that's it right there. Gotta figure out how that comes apart. That's new on me. They clean it together. May. All out of here. On an Ambassador, when you cast, the level line moves with the line. That does slow your cast a little bit, but the other option is it doesn't move at all, and then your line has to find the level line to come mouth on it. I prefer the Ambassador version of it. Slip down my fingers. That's a tough one to get out of there. Got two little locks. Gotta squeeze in. I'm sure there's a special tool for this somewhere in the world. I'll try a couple times before I just say, it ain't worth it. Almost had it. Two little locks. There it goes. Slide in and you pull the whole thing out. First time I took one of these apart. Interesting. There's all kinds of upgrades for these reels. You can get level lines with bearings at both ends. Let's take the spool tensioner off. Inside of that, and there's another source of squeaking right there, is these shims. We'll take all of those out. Clean all that really good. That plate comes off of there. Interesting how they Ambassador made this. A lot different from the bigger. That chaining ring off. This just lifts out. It's keyed where it goes in like that. It just lifts out there. That's all ready to be cleaned up. Here, one bearing. So it's a 2-bearing reel, actually a 3-bearing reel, because they count the sprag as a bearing. Push that out. There is tire reel. We'll soak those bearings really good. Don't wash the bearings in the ultrasonic. I'll clean this up in a little bit and come back and put a nice old reel back together. Let's see, there was. If that comes out, it doesn't. Is keeper and a spring underneath this. Let's do that. Keep your fingers over top of these little things. They come out, they go, and you getting one of these parts would take weeks, and I don't want to wait weeks on it. That doesn't want to come out. I'll let it defeat me though. Like I said, this is just a plastic bushing and then a spring underneath it. We'll clean that up good. Okay, there it is, folks. Entire reel. That's all the parts of the reel. You can't break one down any further than that. I'll be back. All right, this is John. I'm back. This beautiful old Ambassador. Put this thing back together today. We'll start out right here with the level line. So you gotta get this in here. The complaint about this reel was it was squeaking when it was cast, and found a couple things wrong with it, but nothing major. No worn out parts, just need a good cleaning, which is pretty typical of a reel that gets used. Put that in there and we'll give it some lubricant. Two little ears. There. They don't want to cooperate. Just a little bit off there. All right. Put the pawl back in there. Put these pawls in if you put a little pressure on it, spin the gear, it'll lock it in. I know he uses this reel in inshore, so we're going to make sure it has plenty of lubricant. Nice and smooth. Okay. Over here on your this side of the reel, the cog for the level line. Make sure we don't lose this little snap ring. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I do something first. This actually goes in first. In. Make sure those gears mesh. That's going to smoothen out once I put it all together. I do not put grease on those. I just put a little dab of oil, let it do its thing. Well, I guess I didn't have to put that in there first since it just fell out on its own. Okay. Interesting. Couldn't get it out like that, but it goes back in like that. It up and slide it in there. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just not very smart. There was something that has to go in there. What's the bearing? Right. Let's see. Let's think about this for a minute. Now the bearing goes in here. Well, never mind. We'll get it. I don't have a schematic. I probably should have printed one off. Bearing goes in there. A little bit too much oil on this thing. Takes the keeper. Here, a little dab of oil. Do that between each plate. Those are shims. That's where you adjust your spool tension. Give that just a little bit of grease there too. Okay. Get it on there right, John. That's it. Dab of grease, a little dab of grease. You want to kill this thing with a whole bunch of torque. Just snug it down. Maybe 5 inch-pounds, something like that. That. Not even really 2 finger tight. All right. Put some grease on this pinion. Not necessarily on that spindle. We'll grease the jack plate. Yoke already has grease on it. Sit right in there like that. Shim. Shaft. Go some cow's grease. Do a nice smooth drag. Cow's drag grease. Good stuff. All right, let's lubricate this. Brush it down in the teeth really good. Main thing is get it down in the teeth. You don't have to have it all the heck over it. Get it down in those teeth. That goes back in. That trying to remember exactly where those two shims went. The cow's grease. Press plate. And then you had the sleeve. This is where I'm not sure if these were exactly where they were. Uh, hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Go over to this side. We've got this spring goes in there, and this plastic bushing, and we've got a keeper. All that in there. Over on this side, you have the bearing and the keeper. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pause the video and go back and look. I think they went on top of these, but I want to be sure. So hang on just a second. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got this figured out. I was close. They go on the, oh gosh, John. They go right here. And I've moved my microphones. I noticed when I was listening to this, watching this video, it was hideous. My audio is still just completely jacked. I've got to get that straightened out, but I will. Okay, we've got this part of the reel is done. I'm going to put just a little bit of oil, good quality oil, on this anti-reverse spray. I don't put grease on those. Some people do. And then we're going to assemble this bad boy. Okay. And we got these two special screws that go down in there, and we're gonna give them just a tiny bit of grease also. A little bit goes a long ways, and I did put too much on there, but it will even itself out. Snug them up pretty good. Okay. These they make like a spring. They get one opposes the other, concave, convex. All right, and then just a hair bit of grease on that shaft, main shaft, crankshaft, whatever you want to call it. Just kind of tighten it down. They get to a point where the they'll spin the shaft when you try to tighten the drag down on it. It's because it gets to that little place on the shaft where the handle's been wiggling around. Pretty normal. Just hold it with something, bring it on down. Once you get to a certain point, it spins pretty free. Okay. Then you get this washer, and the little ears go down towards the star drag. Then we'll go ahead and put the handle on. And we'll put snap ring in. Hard on the fingers. Oof. As I said earlier, I think I said earlier in this video, I'm leaving to go do some king mackerel fishing for only the second time this year, and the first time I went only fished for a day and a half. The weather was pretty bad. We'll put just a little dab of grease, and I'll wipe off the excess where that little keeper screw goes. I'll keep it from getting corroded. This reel will be around when his toddler son is an old man. This is a good reel. You can't beat this. All right, so the only thing left is the spool. It gets these two centrifugal weights on here. I've already cleaned the spool up as best I can. These centrifugal weights, unlike the newer reels, they will fly out before you actually get the reel together. So you got to kind of take your time with this. A little bit of oil on there. I always put them in right on this side. I think I got it locked there. And let's push it all together. There it goes. And then just tighten up the thumb screws. What a beautiful little reel. If I can ever find one for a decent price, every one of these things I find is 150 bucks or more. Don't know what it is, but they are just hot. They're hot right now. And I know the BFS craze is really just soaking them up. People are buying them and doing all the modifications to them. Let's get that spool tension set. You should just have a little bit of side to side. You should just barely be able to see it or feel it like that. All right, let's wipe the reel down. It's pretty oily. Pretty oily. Sorry, I'm probably off camera. Just trying to get it all slicked up here. I put tape on the line. I didn't know if he wanted to keep the line or not, so I put tape on the line so I can try. Look at that. 2 ball bearing, well, 3 if you count the anti-reverse sprag. That's considered a ball bearing. So watch this, folks. No squeak in that. That thing will cast a country mile. That's why they're so popular, right there. Well, Lane, you got a really nice reel there, buddy. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a nice one. I hope you go catch a Spanish on it or red drum. That reel will do about anything you want it to do in inshore. That was a first for me. I've never done one of the 2500s, and I'm in love. Ooh, I'm in love. It's a nice reel. It's all that and a bag of chips, folks. It really is. I can only imagine how a 1500 is. Can't wait to get my hands on one of them. That's special. That's a damn good reel. A little oil on the handle, paddle. Good. There it is. Folks, thanks for watching. Sorry about the audio. I'm going to get it fixed. I need something to put my mic right here. Right now, I got it sitting right here. Earlier, I had it hanging. I haven't found the magic spot for it, but I will, and I'll get this audio straightened out, and my videos will continue to be entertaining. So I'm getting ready to go fishing, man. I'm hoping I'm gonna take a GoPro with me. I don't know if I'll get much footage. I'm gonna be busy and just by my, I'll be with other people, but nobody there to film me, because we're all gonna be fishing. So um, it is what it is. I'm there to catch fish. I care less about making a video, but if I can, I will. So like my video, subscribe to my channel. More good things are coming. This is John, Vintage Fisherman. Catch y'all later.